Michael Jackson was extremely intimidating for me. And I think at that point, like, you still, like, and it wasn't just that because first of all, I'd already met Michael Jackson when I was little. Like, we were obsessed with Michael Jackson when we were kids, and he was a fan of my dad's. And so every time he would come in town, my dad would arrange for us to go. Even if he didn't go, somebody would take us. So I had been around him plenty of times, like a lot. Um, but again, one of my friends was actually the choreographer for Michael. And he called and he was like, "Oh, it's this job coming up for Michael. This video, it's gonna be fun." And my first thought was like, "Well, why are you calling me? Like, you're in LA with hundreds of dancers." And he was like, "Really, dancers here will give me cute, but you have to be strong to do this. So I need cute and strong." Like, he's like, "It's gonna be hard." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I started getting all these contracts and, NDAs, and then I'm like, "What in the world?" Like, NDAs and all kind of craziness. So I remember my first day of rehearsal, and I was a fan of dancers at that point because that's primarily what I was doing. So I love Janet's dancers, I love Madonna's dancers, Michael's dancers, and that was when video were really big, so you would see them in videos. And I walk in the room, I'm like, "Oh shoot, he dances for Madonna. She dances for Michael. She dances for Janet." Like, and in my mind, I'm thinking, "Well, why am I here?" And it was only two black girls, me and this other girl named Shawnette Hurd, and she danced for Janet. So I'm like, "Why am I here?" And it was just, the choreography was hard. And I remember taking a break. We took a break, and I called my mother crying. "I want to come home. I can't do it." And she's like, "Breathe. Yes, you can do it." And I'm like, "I don't even understand why I'm here. Whatever, whatever." And she's like, "You got it. Look, you got the job. You're there now. You got to do it. You'll be fine." So I remember we go back in rehearsal, and this is at the time, I don't know if you're not from the South, and back then there was this dance called the Bankhead Bounce. So the choreographers were kind of putting in like Southern, like hip hop dance plus LA. Well, if as a dancer, if a lot of West Coast dancers could not do a lot of the stuff that we would do in the South, and it was starting to get big. And so I was just doing it because I'm from ATL, showed it, whatever. And they stopped and they were like, "Okay, so do it like Heather." And I'm like, "Huh?" And they were all like, "Well, how do you do that?" And I'm thinking to myself, "Okay, dude, like, you dance for Madonna. You don't need to learn anything from me." But that kind of started to make me feel more comfortable. But what I will say, it is the most extravagant job that I've ever had. I've never seen like setup like this, but again, it's Michael Jackson. But the hardest job I have ever had. And that's, to me, that was just a lesson of hard work and tenacity because he was there, but I had never worked with someone who wouldn't. Most times when you have jobs as a dancer, they teach you the choreography and that's that. With Michael, he had groups of people and he wanted you to learn different choreography and piece it together. And I'm like, "Well," so they put us in groups and I'd be learning one thing and then they'd be like, "Heather, go over to group 2." And I'm like, "Well, I ain't learned group 1 yet. That's fine. Just go over there." "Heather, move to group 5." And I'm like, "Okay, oh my God." But he was very involved in what it looked like. And I don't like that part of the choreography. Can we cut it right there and put it there? Very funny, very kid-like, like wants to play tag and you run after him like on set and stuff like that. So he was very, very cool, but it was the hardest job I have ever had. I had bumps and bruises. Like, literally, they would cancel rehearsal because people were so beat up. We would rehearse in like shin guards, elbow pads, knee pads, because it was a lot of technical like stuff because the person who actually shot Jurassic Park, and it's a guy named Stan Winston, and he did all the animals for Jurassic Park. He did all the stuff for Batman, and we were in harnesses, running up walls, flipping. Like, it was a crazy experience, but it was like, this is truly a Michael Jackson experience. Like, I had never experienced anything like it, but this is why he's the best. And that's kind of why I understood once I got in, like, oh, this is why he's the best. Because he's not playing at all with nobody and dancing better than us.
What video was that?
It's called Ghost.
Okay.
It is a mini movie. So it's his kind of like almost like a thriller, but an updated thriller at the time. It was so funny because Mos Def was an actor in that little short film, and you can find it on YouTube. But by far the hardest thing dance wise I have literally ever done in my life. Like, but it was like I said, it was for me. The lesson was, this is why he's the best.
Yeah.
He was there every day. You know what I mean? And sometimes he wouldn't learn in front of us. So the rehearsal, like, there was a window and we could tell, we knew somebody was in there watching us. Mm-hmm. So that's how he was piecing the choreography together. But on set, he was there. They would have 100 white shirts because he had a white shirt on, but every time we would do a new scene or we were there for hours, he would change it. But And it was like, we worked so long without him, and then we started to work with him. I'm like, how he doing the choreography better than us? Like literally better than us, like for real. Like, and like the first time we work with him, part of the video, if anybody looks at it, is a cappella. When we were running through, he just started singing. Everybody forgot the choreography. Like literally everybody froze, like, because he sounded exactly like the record. Like, and mind you, I've been to Michael Jackson shows when I was a kid. Had met him multiple times. But the level of professionalism and hard work that man exhibited was just one of my greatest lessons, for sure.